We're here for you to try to make sense of all the information, especially the conflicting information out there. That's why our medical expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, joining us live. Hey, Doc. So before we get to viewer questions, we want you to weigh in on this story out of Ontario, Canada. So a spin studio is dealing with an outbreak of 61 COVID-19 cases. It's not only a large number for a small business, but it's also in an area that's not a COVID-19 hotspot. Plus, the studio claimed to take all precautions like screening staff and attendees, tracking anyone in attendance at each class, adhering to mask rules, following strict cleaning protocols, as well as social distancing, and operating at 50% capacity. So furthermore, they found out from health officials that patient 0 had no symptoms. So considering the lengths that they took, yet they still have this huge outbreak, what do you think about this scary situation, and how do we prevent it moving forward?
Yeah, this is a great example that even if we do everything right, this virus can still outsmart us because it can present without any symptoms. So one thing I will say that I think they didn't do right was they took off their masks. So they were in an indoor space, even though they were physically distancing, they took off their masks during an exercise class, which we know generates a lot of droplets and a lot of aerosols. We also don't exactly know about their ventilation system, whether they had air filters in place or not. So I think this teaches us a lot of important lessons about how the virus is really staying one step ahead of us, and we really have to try to figure out how to outsmart it. So my takeaway from this, Sam and Jeff, is, as the winter comes, we think about we're going to be exercising indoors. I would say if you're going to a gym, then definitely keep your mask on and wear eye protection as well if you can while you're at the gym. But preferably you should exercise at home. And that's what I'm going to do with my Zumba moves and my YouTube channel.
Zumba, yes.
Zumba moves.
Nice.
I love it. Doc, with cases going up all around the world and hearing a story like that, what's your advice? You kind of touched on this for winter when we'll be spending all of our time back inside. You mentioned the gym. How about like restaurants? Because I feel comfortable staying outside at restaurants. Now there won't be an outside because it's winter. What advice would you give on that?
Yeah, Jeff, I would be really cautious there as well, because I think this is part of why the cases are going up. It's because we have a lot more of the younger people infected. Those people are a lot less likely to be symptomatic and not even know that they're unfortunately inadvertently spreading it to others. And restaurants are another one of those environments where we have to take our mask off. We're chewing, and that generates droplets and aerosols. So I would, if you can, try to avoid indoor dining at restaurants as much as possible. And if you must go, then try to go at times that are less crowded. Try to sit near a window and try to put the mask on in between your courses.
I'd rather barbecue.
Yeah, I know. You do a good barbecue.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Okay, so we have some viewer questions. Let's get to Jose. He asks, Dr. Kohli, I'm really struggling with COVID fatigue. I know the virus is serious, but how can I stay motivated when honestly I am over it? So we've gotten a lot of those comments actually, Doctor.
Yeah, Jose, I'm right there with you. I'm feeling really tired and unmotivated as well. But when I feel like that, I remind myself of a few things. The first is we are going to win this. We are winning this. We've made a tremendous advances with treatments, with testing, with diagnosis. And we just have to remember to keep telling ourselves that. The second is that the end is looming on the horizon. This is almost over. So we're not a few weeks away from the end. We're actually several months away. But as soon as those vaccines become available, we will get through this. And then finally, I remind myself every time I put on that mask, I save a life. And that's what keeps me from wearing that all the time for several hours every day.
Yeah,
I like that positive message at the end.
I know. She's fantastic. We appreciate you, Doctor. We'll be right back.